Happy Supercharged Manifesting Monday, everyone. It's the start of another incredible week. And this morning, I'm really excited. We're talking about something that's near and dear to my heart, and actually a movement that I feel called to lead. And this is kind of my first public, how would you say, just my first public conversation really around it. And I'm really excited that I'm going to be here doing it with you guys. So we're talking about, does self-worth block money? I'm going to wait for a couple of you to join and say good morning and hi to each other. And if you're watching on YouTube, hello. But this is a really, really one of those interesting conversations because there's a subtle difference between two words, and I want to share with you so that you can understand and just maybe have some insight as to how this might be impacting the way money flows to you. So good morning, good morning. I see lots of friends watching. I love when you guys are here. I love when you guys say, hi to each other. Happy Monday. Oh, thank you, Lavinia. It's just awesome. It's one of the best ways to start the week, I think, is to jump on and be with all of you. All right, so here's how I came to the awareness of the distinction between these words. We're talking about the self-worth block money. A few years ago, I was in a relationship situation where I had to have this come to Jesus talk with God and really with myself above all, and really look at what I had found myself involved in and say, how is this me? How is this my life? How did I make this choice? How is this the relationship result that I have found myself in? And, it was just one of those things where clear as day, in my own way, I'll say, and I know those of you that get this will get this. I heard the voice of God say, Tasha, because you don't believe you deserve much more than this. That started a whole journey of healing for me. But another thing that it really brought to my attention was in the work that I do, looking at the people that are able to manifest when it comes to money and the people that are not. This is one of the things that I started. It was like the veil had been lifted off my eyes, and I started to see how people were able to relate to money based on if they felt they deserved it or not. Now I'm going to go back to the title of the Facebook Live and the emails that got sent, because it was all around the self-worth. The self-worth block your money. And so I went to, you guys are going to laugh, my dictionary from high school, like probably elementary, your version of elementary school. We call it primary school in Jamaica. I've had this dictionary. I will not part with it. It's broken, but it is mine. It's been through my entire life with me. And so I went in this morning and I looked up the definition of worth, right? Because so many, the buzzword now is self-worth, and you have to be worthy. And when it comes to money, I know a lot of you are thinking about worth, So one of my clients recently in one of our calls, she said, I want a lot of money, Tasha, and I'm wondering if I'm not manifesting it because I don't believe I'm worth it, which was very insightful of her. And also, you might be thinking, well, I think I'm worth it. Well, I'm going to show you, just like me with my relationship, I would have never said, I don't believe I deserve to be, I would never say I believe I deserve to be in this crappy situation. But when I looked at the result, the reality was that was what I believed, like it or not, right? So let's look at the definition of worth. It says a value equivalent to, such as to justify, such as to justify. So you have to justify your value. Now I want you, and it talks about what a person or a thing is worth based on the justification of this value. Now I want to compare that to the word deserve. To deserve is to be entitled to by conduct or qualities, to have established a claim to something. So see, with worth, you have to, justify the value, but with deserving, you're entitled to it. You claim it. And so that distinction became really important to me. And I want to share it in the context of when it comes to money, what I see a lot of people doing is getting caught up in their worthiness of money. And so what you're doing is you're trying to go out there and say, yeah, 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 I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I'm worth it. Here is my cup, and I need you all to validate for me that I am worthy of what I say I'm worthy of. So I say I'm worthy of this price. Please pour into my cup and say yes. I say I'm worthy of your love. Please pour into my cup. I say I'm worthy of this financial result. World, show me, pour into my cup, until somebody says, no, I don't agree, right? Or even worse, you're saying you're worth it, but then you go out there when it comes to asking or receiving money, and you really have issues demonstrating and justifying this worth. So I really want you guys to hone in on this distinction of worthiness versus deservingness. Deservingness just is. You have your cup, you say what you're entitled to, and you pour into the cup. You don't go out and ask everybody else to say, yes, they agree and justify and validate. You pour into the cup. This is what I deserve. And guess what? The universe is set up in such a way that it mirrors back to you with the right people who value your services and your prices and the results that you get. And it reflects to you investment opportunities that will give you the financial results that you want, because you have said you're entitled to it. You have claimed it, versus going out externally and constantly looking for validation. So I want you guys to hear that subtle difference. Now, how can you tell if this is something that you're struggling with? Sorry, frog voice. So how can you tell if this is something that you're struggling with? Just look at the way money is in your life. Do you believe that you have to work really hard? Are you working really hard for money? Are you always busy? If you're always busy, I promise you, and it's in the name of your business and trying to make money, and you're just going, hustle, 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 there's some deservingness issues there. If you feel like you have to earn it, if you feel bad if you're not working, if you feel unproductive and you feel like you're having all kind of guilt issues because you're not being productive in making money, there's that's kind of like a little silent little threat, because what you're saying is, I don't believe I should have money come easily to me. I believe I have to work hard for it. And so if I'm just resting and feeling bad about that, there's a deservingness issue there too. If it's difficult for you to ask for money, if it's difficult for you to feel okay in acknowledging that you desire to have tons of money, maybe somewhere in your background you have religious beliefs, let's just face it, that say to want more money than you need for basic supplies is wrong. And so you believe, I don't deserve more than just to cover my needs. And even if I get more, I feel so bad. I'm constantly feeling guilty about either wanting money or having money. And worse, this is where really the rubber hits the road, is when you feel like you have to prove that you're worthy of it. And we don't have enough time in this Facebook Live to go into how you do that. You just know you do, especially those of us, and this is especially for those of us where we are the product and service that we offer, and then we're going out there and we're over giving everything away for free, or charging very little, or because I'm asking you for $99, I'm going to show you it's worth $5,000. Why are you doing that? Because you don't believe you deserve what you're asking for. You're not, in other words, it's like, yes, I have all this self-worth, but when I go out in the world, I truly don't believe that people are going to say, yes, I'm worth it. And you're not going to say, yes, you're worth it, because you don't believe you deserve it. So that subtle distinction is so incredible. And we're going to spend an entire week talking about this, diving even deeper next week, next Monday, the 31st, when we start the Money Attraction Challenge. So I want you guys to know, just hear me out for today, but no, you have 5 days coming of this. I'm bringing on people who've worked through it. I'm bringing on millionaires who, when the money started coming, how they had to deal with deservingness issues. I'm talking more about my personal story and how I realized this was not just a relationship thing for me. It's really started at the time of my birth with money. And so I'm going to talk about my own journey and how I've had to overcome it. But I just want you guys, all of you watching, to get ready for next week and to ask you as well, would you start sharing the challenge? How many of you have shared the challenge so far? Can you type yes? Because you know, those of you that invite 10 or more, you get you get to enter to win an entire VIP session with me where I talk to you about your money issues, what's blocking you, what are the things that are happening in your specific situation that's preventing you from attracting and receiving the money that you want. And maybe you already are comfortable, but we can talk about how to take it to the next level. This is one-on-one coaching. To coach with me one-on-one is $25,000 for 6 months. So imagine the value of me and you together. No distraction, nothing else, just me and you working on you. I want to encourage all of you to please be inviting so that you can enter for a chance to win this. And when they register, moneyattractionchallenge.com, it will say who referred you. They'll put your name in, and then we track that all the way on our side. All right, so have you been inviting? I see lots of yes, yay. Mwah, mwah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because here's the thing, every time we do a challenge, the more new energy that we have, those of you that have experienced a challenge, you see, when there's 6,000 people from all over the world, can you imagine when that's multiplied? What happens is every single one of us benefit because the vibration and the energy is so high and so intense that manifestations and transformation happen like light, right? So please be inviting. All right, so one last thing I just want to jump into. How do you become deserving of money? Remember, we're going to spend 5 days on this, but I just want you to start to hear and jot down a few of this before we get into next week. All right? Also, just one last thing. Those things, the Jamaican accent just came out there. Ting, one last thing. One last thing. So here's what I want you guys to do also. Please spend this week becoming really clear. What is your intention? Before we go into this next money attraction challenge, what is your intention around money? What is the next frontier for you with money that you want to have a breakthrough or a manifestation or evidence or whatever it is? Become really clear this week before we start. All right, so all right, here we go. The first thing you have to do is deservingness is you working on you. Remember, it's not going to be anybody outside of you telling you you deserve it. It's you pouring into your own container and self-validating that you are entitled. Yes, entitlement is good. You are entitled to the financial results that you desire. It is your birthright. You can claim it. So I'm going to give you, 4 or 5 things that you can do. The first one is you have to overcome the belief that you need to work hard. And here I'm going to make that really easy for you. I'm 46 years old in 2 weeks. Oh my gosh. I know for 45 of those years, I've already worked hard. So if I need to believe that I have to work hard to deserve money, then I've already put in the time, I've already done it. That's my easiest way to get around that. But really, here's the thing, you don't have to work hard for money. And if you need to believe that you have, just tell me the truth. Have you worked hard enough in your life? Have you put in the work? Then check. You did it. It's now your time to have it come easy. Here's another one. This is a universal truth. Universal truth. Like the law of gravity, this is a truth. Ask and you shall receive. There is no other condition. Like my client who said, I don't know if I'm not attracting because I don't deserve it. No, you're not attracting because you don't believe you deserve it. But the formula is ask and you receive. You mess it up by trying to figure out if you deserve it. There's no condition. The universal truth says it is your birthright. The kingdom is within you. There's nothing else you need to do but ask. That's it. Ask and you shall receive. Affirm. Here's another way to start making this your truth. I tell people, if I walk into your house, I want to see this affirmation on your bathroom mirror, on your bed, your bedpost. I want to see it, on your refrigerator. I want to see it in your car. I want to see one in your purse. I want to see one in your pocket. I deserve financial abundance. Period. I deserve financial abundance. And if you need a because, then I deserve financial abundance because I do. Period. That's it. Nothing else required. And then in order to really demonstrate that you deserve financial abundance, you have to start asking. You have to put yourself in a position to ask. The easiest ask is to begin asking the universe for more. Ask for more. When you ask the universe for more, you are in the act of demonstrating that you believe you're entitled to it, and the universe will respond. But if you're going with like a little weak, meek, like, yeah, I can have $100, like, no, that's not being entitled to the abundance that is your birthright. So first ask the universe, be constantly asking for more, get your practice there, and then in the real world with people, yes, ask for more. And the other side of asking is practice receiving, especially for us women. This is where we're like, no, it's okay, I'm good. Practice receiving. When you deserve what you're asking for, you're great at receiving it. And if you have those two kind of murky, then the energy and the vibration you're putting out about what you deserve is very weak. And that's what's happening with your money. You're doing all the right things, but if you're not feeling energetically that you deserve it, then that's just like a major wall in between you and what you're asking for. All right. So I really hope that this just speaks into you. I know I went really fast, but it's because I just want you to get the energy. I just want you to receive it, because we're going to spend 5 days on this. 5 whole days next week during the challenge. All right. So listen, here's the thing. For the rest of this week, all I want you to do at the very least is practice asking the universe for more. Every single day this week, put out an ask. Just put out an ask. Ask the universe for something to do with money. All right. And then set your intention for the challenge. And I look forward to looking in the back end and seeing all of your names, because I'm excited to see who's going to win this VIP session with me, because you invited 10 or more people. All right. So let's get the challenge going. Next week, Monday, we start for 5 days. I think we're up to 6,000 people in the group. Let's just blow it out of the water. Invite. And it's so easy. Just send the link to all your friends. moneyattractionchallenge.com. All right. Mwah. I love you guys, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye, everyone.